Alaska. I've been with DrLam's coaching program for about 10 months now. And before I started this program, I think I was pretty close to dying. I sure felt like it. I had worked with some other people first, and my energy felt somewhat better, but it really wasn't getting better. And it took me a while before I actually talked to people at DrLam's. I had found their website several months before when my adrenals had first crashed. But I was in a place of deep emotional stress, and I wasn't thinking well because my brain really went offline with the adrenal fatigue, and I really didn't know what hit me. So I searched the internet, and I read some books, and I got some supplements, and I did all the wrong things for healing. But in a way it was good, because in reading what was on the website, it talked about the pitfalls of, doing things that weren't really going to heal your adrenals. And I did those things. So when I decided to call DrLam's, I read the book first, and it convinced me that these people know what they're doing. So then I called and started working with them, and then I really started healing. But instead of having just my first deep crash, I had a second really, really deep crash, and a bunch of consecutive crashes that kept taking me deeper. And really, I thought I was on the slide into being dead. But fortunately, here I am. It was a slow, methodical approach, a careful approach, and one that shows the understanding that DrLam's whole group has about how delicate one becomes when their adrenals crash. So instead of feeling like I had energy in 3 days, which had been my previous experience in working with people that I thought had known what they were doing, this has taken time for me to feel better, but it's a slowly building progression of health. And so a new foundation is being created in my body, and I'm very much aware of that, and I'm aware of, I'm still vulnerable, but I'm much stronger, and I learned to pay attention in ways that I didn't know how before to what my body's telling me about my healing progression. So after 10 months, I'm really doing quite well. I'm pretty much living in balance. My sleep is great. I have a good diet. I have steady energy. I can work outside. I ride my bike. I'm looking forward to skiing this winter here in Alaska very soon. Probably best of all is that my outlook is good. The anxiety and depression of adrenal fatigue is low. Something you don't want to go back to, that's for sure. So I have confidence that I'm going to fully heal, and I also understand that I have to take care of myself, and I came to understand that it took me actually my whole life to get to adrenal fatigue and deep adrenal fatigue, and all along the way I experienced signs, and I went to doctors. I went to doctors as a small child even, and He didn't say, oh yeah, you're fine, no problem. But there was a problem that lasted for a really long time. And, well, I'm the kind of person that had to test it out a little bit, well, a little too much at the wrong time, but it did prove to me that what they had to say about adrenals and how you had to be really careful and self-navigating when you're in a level 3 adrenal fatigue is a really bad idea. And, well, I proved them to be correct because it was a really bad idea. Even though I was getting some help, I found out that there are a lot of practitioners who think that they understand adrenals and adrenal fatigue, and they really don't. And they can actually do you harm, and they did do me harm, and I did myself harm. And but fortunately, before I died, I was smart enough to read the book and call and start getting the coaching. So I have been very impressed with the patience and the gentleness and thoroughness of everyone that I've spoken with at DrLam's. And so I want you all to know that, wow, I'm really grateful to you. You guys are doing an awesome job, and thank you for caring so much. That's something, it's hard to get across on the internet. You do have a really comprehensive website. DrLam's has a really comprehensive website, and it's a massive tool of information. You can type in questions and get information about all kinds of facets of adrenals and foods and you name it. But how do you tell on the internet if somebody is, really knows what they're doing? And I guess it helps to, when you're looking at these things, if your brain is functioning fully so that you can really take in the information that's presented. And I was able to take in quite a bit of information, but I was coming from a place of distrust because prior to my adrenals crashing, I'd been helping my mom with brain cancer, and we had gone to so many doctors with so many agendas who, in their specializations, none of them dealt with the whole body, and a lot of them couldn't see past their own agendas. And so after months of that and feeling I was helpful to her, but I was pretty helpless as far as helping her heal, and it was too late for her to heal. But that sort of thing is really stressful, which was the straw that broke the camel's back for me as far as adrenal fatigue. And I didn't recognize the signs of it while I was helping her, or I wouldn't have had to go so deep. All of this is to say that my own experiences in some ways got in the way of my getting help soon enough, the right help, because I came across DrLam's website, I don't know, maybe within the first week of my adrenals crashing, but I couldn't process the information very well. And I was dealing with a high level of distrust of doctors. And so that led me on quite a journey. I think it might have been, it was more than 6 months before I crashed low enough that I checked them out in person. The journey, in the book or on the website, I don't remember which, but, they suggested that looking at your life and seeing how you got to this place of having deep adrenal fatigue, and as I educated myself bit by bit, I was able to see that I was experiencing adrenal fatigue as a small child. I can remember really frequently being dizzy when I stood up, so my blood pressure was too low. But I grew up in a really stressful situation, and anyway, so it progressed through my life, and I always had a lot of energy, but I didn't know I was living off of my adrenals. I had energy that would never quit. I could do anything I wanted to do. I climbed mountains, and I learned to push myself. It's like, well, just dig deeper and you can do whatever it is you need to do. Well, I guess if perhaps I'd known that I was stealing from my adrenals, from their long-term health, I might have made, better choices. But Dr. Lam's coaching program has given me really good guidance, just really steady and informative and responsive. I can ask any questions that I want, and I get thoughtful answers, and anomalies that come up along the way are dealt with, and it feels good to me to have decided to trust in their coaching program and to experience the careful and the steady progression of using nutrients for healing my body. And I do recommend DrLams to people when I go and talk to a naturopathic doctor that I see, or adrenals come up in conversations. I tell people that DrLams knows what they're doing, for real. They don't just claim it, but they really, really do know what they're doing.